everyone. Dr. Frankie Bashan here. Hope you're all having a good day. Happy to be here as usual with everyone. Have to say, I just got a new t shirt that I'm obsessed with. It's perfectly imperfect. Like, how perfect is that? I feel like I'm perfectly imperfect. Human, I always talk about how we're imperfect beings. I am certainly an imperfect being and a work in progress. And being here week after week with you all, thinking about topics that I want to cover that I know a ton about and know are important and need to be stated. I make an effort to really bring that to you, and also topics that I'm curious about and I feel like I can maybe improve on, or things that come up regularly in my practice that I want to better understand, learn tools myself so that I can either, both apply to my own life, because I'm a practitioner that practices what I preach. I don't just talk. Like a lot of these people out there, their lives are in shambles. Shit's completely upside down, and they're preaching to people about all the ways that they should be living and thinking and being in their lives, but their own personal lives are a disaster. So anyway, I use this as an opportunity to continue to learn and grow myself. And it's just an amazing, like, it just reminds me, all of you that are here weekly, showing up, commenting, letting me know what you want to hear more about, or if there are topics that I haven't covered and you'd love for me to delve in there and do that. It gives me purpose and reminds me that there are a lot of people out there that care and want to grow just like me and recognize they too are imperfect. So if you're new to this channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe. Anybody that you know that would benefit from learning tools and skills around interpersonal well-being, awareness, they care about their relationships, first starting with themselves, encourage them to subscribe. I promise you, I will continue to provide you with science-based tools and techniques and skills that you can actually use and apply to your lives. And while some of them may be really helpful and others not so helpful, I promise you, you're always going to get something, even if it's just a gem. Hopefully, it's many gems in one of my talks, but even if you're tuning in every week, I usually drop 3 different videos. So I'm sure that you're going to get something out of it. If you show up here, I promise you that I will deliver. So please subscribe, hit that bell below, hit all notifications, and you will be one of the first to know when I drop a new video. So let's just jump into today's topic, all about aftercare. Most of us are always anxious to be the best sexual and romantic partners we can be. We want to prioritize enthusiastic consent, make sure we're satisfying our partner, and for them to be enjoying every aspect of their time with us. That's why aftercare is so incredibly important. It shows an active commitment to making sure your partner's emotional and physical needs are met by extending your care for them beyond just having sex. If you're doing any kind of play with power dynamics, aftercare is crucial to understand. But even if you're not, it's always good to understand more ways of showing up for your partners. So, what is aftercare anyway? Aftercare usually refers to the intentional ritual of caretaking, affirming actions for someone after sex, designed to make them feel connected, safe, secure, respected, and cared for. Aftercare is often referenced in a BDSM context where the main sexual activities may have had more intentionally challenging overtones. Aftercare helps reset the connection and facilitate both partners leaving their personas behind and reconnecting as equals and or loving partners. Maybe the bottom in a relationship was just enthusiastically and consensually degraded or humiliated for hours. And then during aftercare is affirmed by their top as a strong, lovable person that the top admires and cares for. It's a good idea to discuss aftercare as part of negotiating desires and interests with a new partner, especially if any kind of kink is on the table. Hearing what people find helpful or valuable in aftercare and setting expectations for what aftercare should look like for you can help set you both up for success and a great date. Who is aftercare for? Traditionally speaking, and especially in a kink context, aftercare is imagined to be something a top does for a bottom. It's a way of bringing them back to earth a bit, comforting them through an intense feelings that may have come up for them, and reaffirming the respect and care they feel for their bottom outside of the scene space. With that said, it's important to remember that sex and kink are intense, demanding, and in some circumstances can be triggering for tops and dominants too. It's helpful to discuss what forms of aftercare might feel good to the top in your dynamic as well, even if it's just cuddling and positive feedback on the experience you just had. Physical aftercare. Especially after intense and or extended sex, it can be helpful for both parties to have some physical aftercare planned. Your electrolytes and blood sugar may be low after several hours of sexual activity, and it's a good idea to have snacks with protein and fiber on hand if possible, plenty of water, and maybe fruit or a special dessert as a treat. Think about other physical needs you may need met as well. Having warm, fuzzy blankets to wrap yourself and your date in, or a fuzzy robe often feels good, or adjusting the heat or the AC in the building to make sure you're comfortable. For some people, a massage or taking a shower together feels like a great way to connect and bring your body back to baseline. If you've done any impact play that may have left marks, bruises, or welts, aftercare can also look like applying balm or an ointment. Emotional aftercare. Sex often brings up strong emotions, and kink can even bring up strong emotions more so, or especially when the experience is a good one. Many people are chipper and happy and go lucky after a scene ends, but may also be occasionally surprised by feeling sad, ashamed, or very small, and even vulnerable. These feelings may or may not be a result of what just took place and can often be old feelings that get stirred up about a different situation that comes up unexpectedly. Regardless, good emotional aftercare looks like staying with your date's emotions and allowing them to play out with support and care. This doesn't have to look like counseling. It can mean rubbing your date's back and agreeing to hold them while they cry, or giving them space if physical touch feels too intense for them right now, and instead making them a chamomile tea, for example. When something goes wrong, in a perfect world, aftercare is the glowy, connective time after a great time in bed that everyone enjoyed to the fullest. But inevitably, there will be a point at which something during sex goes wrong. Even if you hew towards the most vanilla sex possible with a single long term partner you're in a stable relationship with, eventually someone will say or do the wrong thing in bed on a day when their partner is struggling. Or something that's always been pleasurable will suddenly feel less so. Or a miscommunication will happen. Someone does something the other person didn't want. If you're having more casual sex or higher risk sex, this intense kink or BDSM scenes, there's an additional possibility for misunderstandings, mishaps, or activities that sounded good in theory, but don't actually feel good in practice. In these instances, aftercare takes on another valence and requires a different set of skills. If someone is hurt, upset, or triggered during sex, it's often best to stop immediately and move into aftercare, finding ways to make the other person feel safe and secure, whether that means putting clothes back on, wrapping someone in a blanket, getting them rescue meds, or listening to them while they talk about what just happened. If a discussion about what just happened comes up, it may be best to approach it more delicately and less functionally than you would in other circumstances. If someone was accidentally harmed, had an experience of something not feeling good, or if there was a miscommunication about consent, it can feel very upsetting and accusatory. You may feel inundated with extreme shame or defensiveness about your intentions. Even if your feelings are based in reality, aftercare probably isn't the time to raise them. Try to focus on making your partner feel safe and hearing them out for now. And in 24 hours or so, when you've both had a chance to regulate, you can have a full conversation about it. And remember, tops can be triggered or have their consent violated too. I hope you found this helpful. And if you have any reactions, responses, feedback, I encourage you to share them in the comments below. And I will see you all next time. Thanks so much for subscribing, for tuning in. And yeah, kisses, hugs. I'll see you then.